Hi, and welcome to your opening back body series. I'm going to be guiding you on how to open everything from your Achilles tendon up to the neck. If you haven't done our chest opening or neck series, that's a great prerequisite for this entire back body portion. So we're going to start seated and then ultimately end in a supine lying down position. I would love for you to have a strap or a towel because we will be doing some hamstring calf stretches lying down. So let's go ahead and get seated. I want you to bring your right shin in front of your left. And I want you to think about each body part in conjunction with your breath. So wherever we're kind of focusing on, that's where I'd like you to send your breath to. That kind of mind-body awareness is going to help relieve and open the muscles a lot faster than if your attention was focused on somewhere else. So we're just going to begin by taking a couple rounds of breath, grounding into our body, finding our center here today. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And again, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, stretch the arms up really tall. Exhale, bring your hands down the midline, fingertips finding the floor in front of you. So we'll just take a little bit of rocking right to left. I want you to kind of find a wider base in your seat. And then we're going to start to walk the fingertips out. And I'll go ahead and give you a side profile here. This is when it might be nice to have a pillow or a block handy. But I want us to open up the back body today. So anywhere from your hip, your psoas, your erector spinae muscles, anything on the back side of the body, that's perfect. Wherever you feel the sensation, that's where I want you to breathe. I'm going to go ahead and bring a block for my forehead. And just taking a couple rounds of breath here. Find a comfortable position for the shoulders. And once again, wherever you are feeling that call for attention or that stretch, that's where I'd like you to send your breath. And for those of you that do not have your forehead resting on anything, if you would like to slide the fingertips out with each breath, that's a nice way of seeing kind of the body opening. We'll be here about 3 more rounds of breath. Deep inhale through the nose, deep exhale out. And again, deep breath in, exhale, let it out. And on this next inhale, we're going to rise up slightly and walk the fingertips all the way over to the left. You'll feel that stretch intensify on the right side of the spine, right hip. And then allowing maybe your nose to come a little bit closer to the knee. Feeling the back of the head relax here. Kind of squaring the torso down towards the floor. Take 2 more breaths. Last one, deep inhale through the nose. Exhale all the breath out. We'll go ahead and walk the hands back in and come up to center. Now we're going to move into a deeper hip stretch. So just go ahead and walk the feet out. And there's really no fancy name for this one. It's a very restorative hip stretch, but still working with back body. I want to get into the piriformis. So we're going to go ahead and take that right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. I want you to just kind of rock right to left here. And so that piriformis connects the sacrum to the outer hip. So you should definitely feel a stretch here. If you don't, a little side profile. I want you to start to walk the heel in closer towards the sitting bones. And then we're just going to keep rocking right to left here. And once you've kind of warmed up the muscles, find stillness, and we'll just be here about 5 breaths. Really lengthening up through the crown of the head. And you want to make sure that you're at a place where you can breathe comfortably. Feel that opening. Taking one more breath in. And exhaling out. Good. Go ahead and extend both legs straight. And I like to have my feet in line with my hips. So feet about hip distance apart, align with the knees. And I'm going to give you a couple options. If you have any kind of low back issues, SI issues, if you know that you're tighter in your back body, take your blocks or take a towel or a folded blanket and just place it underneath the backs of your knees, back of your thighs. And this is going to help create a little space and support. The stretch won't feel so intense or so unmanageable. So once again, back body opening here. We're gonna just move very slow. If you need to lift your seat up and come back down, you can. But toes looking straight up at the ceiling, fingertips down by your side. For me, I already feel a stretch here, so I'm just gonna pause and take a couple rounds of breath. And for those of you who feel ready to keep walking the fingertips forward, rounding the back body and folding, you absolutely can do so. It's not about how far you can go, but the relationship to how far you are in. So whenever you're ready, you just close down the eyes, start to notice that first little glimmer of sensation, that first little stretch. Notice if it's more on one side or the other. This is a really great posture for relaxing the body, relieving all of kind of neck tension, headache tension, anxieties. Not to mention just every single muscle along the back line. And then allow yourself to come to a very nice, restful forward fold, where the chin is dropping down towards the chest. Forehead is moving towards the floor. And deep breathing in through the nose and out of the nose. We'll be here about 5 more rounds of breath. Once again, please don't feel the need to go further than what is breathable. If there is any sharp pain or anything that feels too intense, just gently back out of it a little bit. We'll be here for 2 more rounds of breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling all the breath out. We have 1 more deep inhale in. Exhale, let it go. Gently lift the heart, lift the chest, slowly come to rise. Bend both knees, and we'll go ahead and just kind of unravel, going back the way we kind of started, opposite way. I want you to go ahead and bring now your left ankle on top of the right thigh. And we'll just find that rocking right to left, back and forth, opening up the piriformis here. And feeling that kind of loosening effect, lubrication of the hip socket. And when you're ready, find a comfortable place to pause at neutral, lifting up through the sternum, tall spine. Close down the eyes whenever you're ready, and begin to connect to that left glute, breathing space in the lower back. Feeling an opening or a ballooning effect, this time in your back body. Go ahead and take 2 more rounds of breath. Once again, if you feel like you could go for a deeper stretch, just slide that heel back towards your sitting bones, and that'll intensify the stretch. We'll take our last breath together. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale all the breath out. From here, we're just going to go ahead and allow that ankle to slide across the shin. Now we've got left shin in front of right, so going to the opposite leg. Sitting nice and tall, you may already notice that one side feels more open than the other. We'll take a deep inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down the midline, fingertips come forward. Walking the hands out. Once again, if you used a block on the first side or a pillow, you can do so to rest here. And we'll take 5 to 7 rounds of breath, depending on how deep your breaths are. So take an inhale through the nose, exhale out of the nose. Bringing that awareness down to the lower back, down into the hips. Moving awareness up a little bit higher, breathing into the kidneys, breathing into the low back, low waist. Exhaling, maybe those fingertips walk out even further, getting longer in the back body. Have that third breath go around the rib cage, middle of the back. Exhaling all the breath out. Find that reach as you breathe in for 4, filling up the upper back. Finding that stretch along the side of the body. Exhaling out. Take one more breath here. Feel your entire back body dome up towards the ceiling as you fill up with breath. And then exhale, staying full. Exhalation, rising up. Nice and slow. Walk the hands all the way back into the body. So we're just going to go ahead and start to find a little bit more opening now in hamstrings and groins, still staying with back body, sitting tall. Most of this sequence is forward folding. We will go into supine stretches shortly, but create about a foot, maybe a foot and a half between pelvis and heels. And as you inhale, really pull the heart up, and as you exhale, elbows move on the outside edges of the shins, rounding the body. And coming into your butterfly pose, again, I always like to feel supported and have a little extra height. You can bring a block to the feet, resting your forehead down. But we'll be here about 5 breaths. I'll join you in this posture in case you're wondering if you're doing it correctly. I'll see you in about 4 more breaths. Have these last 2 breaths really lengthen through the spine. Feeling the backs of the thighs fall down towards the floor. Taking our last breath together, deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling all the breath out. Nicely done. Gently bring your body all the way up. Removing your block, I'd like you to go ahead and walk the feet out into a little V shape. I always like to use my mat to kind of gauge if my feet are even or not. So with my heels roughly in the same location, sitting up nice and tall, going for a stretch again, walking the fingertips out. This is entire back body. We also are incorporating a little bit of groin. So when you're ready, walking the fingertips forward. If you've got a bolster or pillow, you can place it under your belly. Same thing again. If you've got a block that you would like to rest your forehead on, you can. This time, feeling that stretch in the hamstrings, stretch in the calves, behind the backs of the knees. Actively draw the toes back towards your face, pulling the heart forward. Anytime our back body begins to round, we kind of lose that elongation. So finding that balance between heart pulling forward, back body long. And once again, you can stay in any of these opening postures for as long as you'd like. For today's purposes, we'll just be here about 5 to 7 breaths in each one. Taking our last 2 breaths together, deep inhale through the nose, exhaling out. Last one, deep breath in, and exhaling out. Gently pick the heart up, walk the hands all the way back into the body. Take one hand underneath the back of the knee and then the other behind the back of the knee, and we'll go ahead and move into our supine back body opening series. So if you feel like you've had enough, you can go ahead and pause or stop your video here. Those of you who would like to keep going, find a strap or a towel and meet me on your back. All right, so once you get settled, make sure that your strap is handy. And we'll just start by feeling the back body lying down on the ground. You don't have to have a yoga mat. You can do this on the carpet, on a rug. Just someplace that is level and feels sturdy. So we'll take a few rounds of breath here. Deep inhale in. Exhaling out. I just want you to notice the relationship between your back body and the floor. Noticing all the meeting points between back body and the floor. You might feel the elbows, the sacrum, the glutes, shoulder blades, back of head. So we're going to do a little bit of calf hamstring stretch. Once again, if you do have any kind of SI or low back issues, just move very slowly, keep a slight bend to the knees, but I will guide you every step of the way. So please grab your towel or strap. Both knees are still bent, and I'd like you to place that strap around the sole of your right foot. So finding a comfortable upper body, we're going to just slide the elbows down towards the ground. And then from here, keeping that slight bend to the right knee, I want you on an exhale to gently press that right leg straight. As you inhale, bend the knee. And exhale, straighten the leg. You might notice some shaking, some quivering. Those are all normal. As we release the lactic acid that builds up, it causes a little bit of a shake. So the next time your leg is straight, I'd like you to pause there. So make sure that the elbows are still relaxed on the ground, sacrum is firmly planted, and there's no extra tension being created here. We're just gently gonna go ahead and rock that leg right to left. You might feel a little IT band stretch here. Maybe different parts of the back of the leg opening. And then allow the leg to come to neutral. Right thigh pressing away. And if you want a little bit more, you can slide that left leg straight down onto the mat. And then from here, drawing the toes down towards the face, I want you to feel this activation in the left leg. So inner left thigh pressing down, left toes are active. You might even get a little bit of a psoas stretch, a little bit of a hip flexor stretch, but the main focus should be on the back of that right thigh. So we'll take about 4 rounds of breath here together. And over time, you may feel that that right leg can scoot closer and closer in. Once again, it's not about how far you can go, but where you are while you are in this posture. Take one more breath in. And then from here, you're just going to take both straps in that left palm, and I'm going to open and tee out my right arm, and I'm just going to start to have this right leg fall over to the left. This is a pretty big IT band stretch. It's our first supine twist. You might feel a lot going on in the back body, but stay with the breath here and continue to shift that right hip away from you. You can even take your right thumb, place it in the right hip crease so that you can kind of guide it away, and taking 3 more rounds of breath here. And then we'll take our last breath here together, and then just gently bend that right knee. You can release the strap, and we'll find a very, very deep supine twist. So this is really activating back body, loosening up all those deep muscles between each vertebrae, kind of breaking up the fascia around the ribs. And we get to do a little internal organ massage here. So it's almost like we're wringing out the toxins in the stomach. Take another full breath in. Exhale out. We're going to go ahead and bring that right knee to chest and then the left knee to chest. Finding this rock right to left. Pausing at neutral, just hugging it in for a moment. You can probably already see or feel the difference between right back body and left back body. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and come back to our starting position and just bringing the hands to the low belly, feeling our engagement between back body and floor, noticing those touch points. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and take that entire sequence on the left. So placing this strap around the sole of the left foot here. And we'll start with a bent left knee, pretty close in towards the body. We'll take an inhale through the nose. As you exhale, begin to straighten that left leg. Inhale, bend the knee, elbows resting on the ground. Exhale, straighten left leg. 2 more of those. Staying broad across the collarbone. We don't want any tension in the upper body whatsoever. Next time you straighten, pause here. And feel a heaviness to your back body. So a lot of times we'll kind of tense and curl. I want you to feel very heavy and relaxed. And once you arrive there, we'll start to rock that left leg right to left. Finding that activation in the YACEP band. Feeling that deep opening on left side body, left back body. And then once you've worked out a couple of those kinks, come back to center, draw the left toes towards your face. You can use the hands to really pull down on the strap and begin to find this hamstring, calf, Achilles stretch. If you want more, slide that right leg out and down. Feeling the inner right thigh roll down towards the ground, right toes pulling back towards your face. You'll start to feel that hip flexor stretch, and we'll stay here. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Continuing to press the back of the left knee crease away from the body. And please allow yourself to be intuitive and in touch with what your body needs. You might have to find a little movement again before this deep stillness. Anywhere where you feel the shaking or kind of feel extra sensation, just be mindful. And when you're ready, we're going to take both straps into that right hand. And we're going to open that left arm out into a half T, and we're going to slowly start to cross left leg over the body, going for an IT stretch. And then for here, I want you to really feel that left SI joint relax downward. And then you can even guide using your left thumb, that left hip crease away from your body, creating a little bit more space in the sacrum, space in the low back. We'll just be here about 3 breaths. If you're in a really good spot and you want to go back to that left arm opening into a half T, you can. And then we'll go into our juicy spinal twist here in just a breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Stay for the full exhalation. And when you're ready, bend that left knee. Allow it to cross all the way over the body. Coming into your spinal twist, big activation of the back. Allowing that left shoulder blade to be heavy. Once again, this is your opening practice. No right or wrong way, just what feels good. We'll take 3 more breaths. Each exhale, feeling the organs soften and settle. Feeling that twist go deeper. On your next inhale, bend that left knee into the center of the chest. Bring the right knee to meet it and find that rock right to left again. You should feel a little bit more even, a little bit more balance between the back sides. And then coming to center, really hugging those knees in. We'll do one last posture, happy baby. I'll give you a variation. So initially, you can just begin to part the knees, part the thighs, pointing the toes, and really finding this stretch in the low back, almost like a yogi squat or malasana or a birthing squat. I always like to do a little bit of rocking to create a little bit more space. Those of you who would like to go further, grab onto the outside edges of the feet, the pinky toe side, and begin to bring the ankles directly over the knees, pressing down into the tailbone, really feeling that opening, that activation in back of the hips, back body. I'll give you one more option for those of you who would like to take it even further. Keeping the shoulders relaxed down away from the ears, you can go ahead and extend and straighten that right leg out. Taking it on the other side, extending that left leg out, and just kind of doing that little bow and arrow position. Maybe both legs spreading out. Whatever feels good in your body. We'll take one more deep breath in. Maybe an open mouth exhale. When you're ready, bend both knees, hug them back into the chest. You can either rock and roll yourself forward and back, or just roll yourself over to one side and make your way back up. So that is our back body opening series.